Good evening, it's a tired MrTacpans's. Any roulette players out there? I want to ask you a question. Have you ever played the European roulette? If you go on your computer right now and look up European roulette or orphans or orphalank or orphilius, look that up and see what it shows you. It shows you about a series of 5 numbers that say 5775. The year 5775 in 2015, and it gives you this design, the cross of Jesus. You have to know how to use the numbers, okay? You just have to keep repeating them. God built this whole planet by repeating over and over, and we got bigger and bigger and bigger, but the steps were all the same thing that goes for the pyramids. So that's this little drawing here. We'll throw that out like David Letterman would say. Here's another drawing. One I didn't finish yet, okay? I don't know if you can see this. Can you see that? Well, you see what looks like the curves, okay? I think they call that sigma, or the letter, a fancy E. Well, what happens is Alpha Spirit has Beta, the Beta world, and he builds us in between those two worlds. So he pulls the worlds together, okay? And he has to create an extra 2 corners. So he has us inside those corners. Don't forget, if you take a jelly ball and put it between 4 walls, okay? And if it was, if it was square and you blow air into it, it'll get round. But if it's round and you push the walls in, you'll have like a square with rounded corners, okay? This is all a game of cutting corners, and God just built this enormous matrix. I'm going to show you one thing. What I did is, I cut 4 corners in a square, okay? And I come up with this result. The letter V, one way, and upside down it's another V. And that's the reason, okay? The reason for those lines, it shows the split between the 2 worlds. That's what those lines are. That's why if you see it in your letters, that's what the lines are. All the lines that you see have an extension for the letter I, the letter B, the letter D, the letter E. It's got an extension for it at the end. It's because of the connection of the I. In Hebrew, they would call it the Yud. The Yud. That letter I is the extension. So, yeah, the W is created by pulling the islands. We are islands like the avatars. And I thought they were crazy. Maybe I'm just crazy. We're exactly like in the movies. I'm able to read designers so that I can see the truth that it was capable of creating. What else was I going to do? I had so many things and I always get lost. The 3 worlds. Where can I show you the 3 worlds? Okay. So one person, if you're sitting in a room with 4 corners and you're in one corner, those other 3 corners are the other 3 worlds. The passage and the distance on getting to the other worlds, that makes up the in-between. Okay? I got a piece of metal here. I've got 1 square. Okay, God starts off like this. This is why we have the triangle. Another reason we have the triangle, okay, because of this. God's in the center. He has 2 hands. What's he going to do? So he decides to take part of himself to create. Well, what else did he do? Did he stand there and do nothing? Obviously, he created. That's why he's telling the story, and that's why I'm telling you. So this is that B that I just showed you before, which is part of the letter Y, saying I created in the heavens. Okay? You can ask me whatever you want. I know all the letters. I can make up any story and everything is going to be true. Because I'm not going to tell you if I don't believe it myself. So anyways, what happens is God decides he wants to have another world. Now look what happens. It opens up. Okay? It opens up that you have 2 dots that would be, and each one of these would be a dot. As one of these would be, okay, hold on a second. Imagine 1 dot in there, okay? And when you break them apart, we now need 2 dots. Now look, not only do you have a one over here in this hand and one over here in this hand, but you have two things you don't see. The in-between. My face is in between it. They're no longer touching. We have to make an extension. The in-between space connecting, creating the I and the H of heaven, creating the I and the H. It just works that way. It's the way it is. It's life, eh? So many things. Have you ever seen this? It's a hatchet. It's actually showing you a bird's eye view of what you can see around the world. It's another clue. Okay? 144,000 midway angels travel the paths. There's 1,440 minutes in a day. Okay? Doesn't it tell you something? The circuitry of spirit matrix has to do with 144,000 spirit angels that pass through 1,440 minutes of a 24-hour day. The Mayan calendar, Orpheus, the orphan man, the orphan numbers. These numbers I showed you, they call them orphan numbers. It says 5,775. Heinz Ketchup, God of the spirit world. That's what it says. It's not only there, okay? I showed you. It's over here. I'm not crazy. You can come over. I'll show it to you. I'll display it. It's not much. You have the four corners. But these four corners, okay, because it's on a rectangular, okay, you can't change it to be man's world if you want. But because it's a rectangular, on this side it's saying spirit creation, and then it's saying spirit creation. One is in the beta world, one is in God's world. The four worlds in between. The two extra dots. The one dot you put here, and the one dot you put here. Now we have the 6 card there. Not the 6 dice. Another description. Let's leave it out. It just describes the 3 worlds, the 6 cards, just like this. This is not the 6 dice. Okay? The 6 dice is an in-between. That's what man appreciates. It appreciates just like, you don't have to see really what the numbers are, but okay, this is what happens when the worlds work together. Okay? The corners are split and joined into the center world. Spirit God comes in creation of the blue world, beta in full. Then you have 3 and 9, which is the birth in the third world. Trying to look at it myself, sorry. Then you have 4 corners, you have man. Then you have the birth of the 7 worlds. And that's what I wanted to show you next, birth of the 7 worlds. Oh boy. Wait, can't find it. Lovely. Lovely. Yes, so we have a shitty video right here. It's the first time you heard me say that. But basically it goes like this. Am I on the wrong thing still? Okay, you see the cross, okay? Well, the 1, 2, 3 is in the top world, is in alpha world. The 7, 8, 9 is in the beta world, okay? But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is also in this world because it flips upside down. We're 3 worlds connected. So these numbers cut in half and split. But all you have to know is when you have 4, 5, 6, you have light, okay? When 2 runs through 5 and 8, okay, that's only the passage of the spirit. Man can't go that way, and that's the travel of our world, okay? I may not have the best videos, and I'm a little all over the place, but what I'm going to show you next is a crop circle, and it's a basic, it's putting the worlds together and harnessing them. By harnessing the 2 worlds together, we create the letter U, we create the hookup of the letter W, we create the suspension on the 2 sides. The reason why the Mack truck suspension is upside down and Chrysler keys go in upside down, because the other world is upside down. They had to go backwards, shove their feet in. Everybody's got their feet in the party. Okay? Everybody's watching the outside. You know what I'm saying? They don't have their heads in and their feet out. They're all sitting with it. Anyways, this little design here, that's basically the crop circle, and that's basically our world. It creates the hexagon, the octagon, the polygon, the quadrilateral, the only shape, okay, the four-sided shape called the quadrilateral. The only one that's not called a gon. Okay, it's a nice cobweb, and if you can see deep inside, it says XO and Yo. It says every single letter, every single number. It says alpha and omega. Makes almost every single shape. And if you look deep enough and close enough, there's more than one color. And don't forget the paths, okay, are also in the wiring. Because the path you have to look at is not at the empty spot. You have to look at the blue writing. You have to look at those blue dots. That's the passage, okay? Those blue dots, okay, that's like the tent. It's held down right there, the tent, okay? And the rest of the tent is held at each corner. Okay, and now that man is there, it's got to be held down where man is 4 and 6, and it's got to be held down 2 and 8. It just that's the way it works. Okay. What was I going to show you? Where is it? Okay, it says 1, 2, 3. The first line equals 6. 4, 5, 6 equals 15, 5 and 1, 6. 7, 8, 9 equals 24, total 6. Then we go the line below it on the angles. They each equal 15. 15 and 15 is 30. That's 10 for each world. And the reason there's 30 there is because you pass the 5 twice. Okay, and it equals 30. So you go through the 5 hole for the 3 worlds. The next one over here, it comes out to a total of 12, 15, and 18. If you average, take the average of 4 for each one, okay, it comes out to 3, 6, 9, and that's creation of man, birth. That telephone keypad, I wish I could really translate it over to you guys a little bit better. The reason for the pentagram exists because we do not have to harness heaven in the beta world. When this world is connected up to the spirit world and the beta world, guess what? The beta world got the butt of it and she's at the bottom. Okay? So they only needed to hook up the spirit world and only the 2 corners of the beta world, because heaven, there was only one heaven. So the pentagram didn't need that center picking point that they had in the Magen David. So then they made the pentagram. And again, the pentagram actually comes from a triangle and the Pontiac image sign. That makes that. Okay, and there's 2 V's in there. Pontiac star. It means a double life. 22 for life. The triangle of Trinity of God of 21. The heaven of the 5 of 1 dot. 5 of 1 dot by 735. Creation of man is the name of the pentagram. Oh, I'm trying to get all through this. Did you ever see how they created the dice? The 1 dice? They had the 1 dice. They had the 2 dice. How did they get the 2 dice? They took the square and they split it on an angle. They got 2 dice. Well, now what comes next? You split it the other way. Now you got 4 dice. And all of a sudden the 4 dice creates the 5 dice, because the 5 dice, where the slices are together over there in the picture, where all the slices are, where is those slices? Anyways, the center dot, okay, for the 5 dice, where all the slices meet, well, that ends up to be the 5 dice. Okay, there is no 6 dice. The 6 dice doesn't exist. The 6 dice only exists in your mind. Anyways, we're at 14:30. I'm not happy with this video. I know so much more and I sound like a retard. I'm not happy about it at all. I worked so hard. I've been sitting here for 5 hours. All I know is we still have to say something is going down. Something's going down. That's as close to perfect as I can tell you. Something is coming down, my friends. Very, very soon. And prepare for the next 3 years. I don't want to scare anybody. There is no scare. God is beautiful.